因为美国人是什么烂人。That is one of, if not the best thing about Taiwan, I think. It's absolutely not like that where I come from. It's absolutely not like that where my wife comes from. What do you do here? I live here. They go, ugh. So, like, do you work? Like, everybody works. Oh, so you work here. Like, I live here, and so I work here. They go, oh, what do you mean? Are you a student or do you work? Accept people as they are rather than how they should be. Is that dangerous? Does that hurt? Is that legal? They don't really want to embrace the, human tendency towards violence. No one's able to explain to me in a way that I can understand why that is.
Hi, 大家好，欢迎来 Welcome to Taiwan。今天我们跑去到台场跟我们美国朋友聊天。影片开始以前，请不要忘记订阅、按赞、开启小铃铛。And remember, if you like the video, you have an option to hype the video. Help us hype this video so more and more people can see the video. And we also have a shop, Welcome to Taiwan shop, at the bottom of every video. Go check it out. We have lots of items there and we are adding more and more items. If you can't find what you like and you have a picture of something you wanted it in 3D, send it to me and I will get you a 3D image of that picture or a figurine of yourself or your loved ones.
I'm Daniel O'Rourke, or in China, Wu Danlong. I come from Seattle, Washington. What do I do here? I live here, right? And I get in trouble with this question sometimes. What do you do here? I live here. They go, ugh. So, like, do you work? Like, everybody works. Oh, so you work here. Like, I live here, and so I work here. They go, oh, what do you mean? Are you a student or do you work? Like, I live here. Why do you live here? Oh, I'm Taiwanese. Like, this is my home now. That's what I do here, right? But of course I work. I'm no longer a student. I do teach a little bit of English. I do it online now, and then like you saw the farm earlier. I make a little bit of money selling the basil and the lemongrass and the cilantro, the local restaurants. But then what I really like doing is I teach martial arts. So I run a class over in Gancheng. I teach Muay Thai over there. But then I've also, in the past, I've taught mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
So how do you manage your time between farming, teaching English, and teaching martial arts? Oh.
Very poorly. Very poorly. I'm not really great with time management, but I'm pretty good at, when something's scheduled, I do that. And then the farming is really kind of a hobby thing that happens to make a little bit of money, and I do that in between classes.
So when do you start this farming thing? Is it when you're in Taiwan here, or even way before coming to Taiwan, you were into farming?
No, I was really interested in farming, but I didn't get to do a whole lot of it until I moved here. Before I moved here, sometimes I'd go off into like Dakang, and I'd go into the jungle. I'd find a clearing and try to plant stuff there. That was kind of like my weekend hobby, but now I got this awesome big old place for chickens and vegetables, and now I'm into the farming.
The farming, what's the future plan? Do you plan on expanding it, making it as a full-time business stuff, or
absolutely not?
No,
it's a hobby. It's the only reason I sell this stuff is because I like doing it, and I grow more stuff than my wife and I can actually eat. So, I can let it rot in the ground, or I can find people to give it away to, or some restaurants, they'll pay me a little bit to bring it by.
How long you been in Taiwan?
17 years.
17?
Came here in 2009 when I was just before I turned 19. So I got off the bus in Taichung and then stayed here for 4 years, and then I moved to Hsinchu for 2 and then came back here. So I've been back here for 11 years.
So would you say Taichung is your favorite city in Taiwan?
Oh yeah. By far my favorite city.
So what's special about Taichung that maybe is not in other cities?
That it's right in the middle means I'm not far from just about anywhere in Taiwan I'd like to go. The weather's nice too. If I wanted to live somewhere it's going to rain every day like Taipei, I could have just stayed in Seattle.
That's right.
Yeah. I lived in a lot of places because I got, I have all the dogs, right? So I can't stay in one place for very long. Usually a neighbor starts complaining, I get kicked out. So I lost track of how many places I've lived.
What has Taiwan taught you during these 17 years?
There's there's two things I think that really stand off the top of my head. Taiwan really gets right, and I wish Americans would go along with. One, Taiwanese people take really good care of their elderly, and Americans we could learn a lot from that. Your parents, your grandparents don't deserve to be stuck in a retirement home and forgotten, and Taiwanese don't. And then number two, a big one that I've been really understanding recently is to accept people as they are rather than how they should be. Americans, again, huge generalization, but we really get really passionate about how a person should be and how a person should feel and how a person should act. And Taiwanese are a lot better at, like, yeah, that's just how he is. Let's kind of work around. What's the most efficient way to work around that rather than just go berate somebody and tell them how they ought to be? I think Taiwanese really got that one right.
Talking about martial arts, you came here almost 19. Were you doing this back home?
Yeah, I did it for about 2 years before I came over, and I wanted to keep training, so I found a place called Iron Boxing Gym here in Taichung, and I trained there until, I went over to Taiwan BJJ to do mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then I moved to Hsinchu, and then when I came back, I kept training at Taiwan BJJ until one of the instructors, Dimitri, split off and he opened the Bears Den. So I I coached there for a little while until I left, and then now I'm, Iron Boxing Gym no longer exists, but I'm training under Coach Wang, who was the owner and head coach of Iron Boxing, and then he runs Gancheng, where I teach my classes.
Asians are known for this karate and kung fu stuff. How is it different from this mixed martial arts?
Mixed martial arts, it's a competition rule set, right? So you would and by the name mixed martial arts, usually you're practicing you might be practicing 2 or more distinct disciplines as part of your MMA training.
How popular is this martial arts within the Taiwanese youth?
It's definitely not very popular in Taiwan. It is much more popular with the foreigners than it is with the locals. The locals, they're not super into boxing or BJJ or MMA. The locals really like Taekwondo.
What do you think could be a reason why the locals are not too interested in this kind of sports?
So when I talk to people, when I tell them about what I do and I explain it, sometimes they'll go like, "Is that dangerous? Does that hurt? Is that legal?" So I hear that so much, it makes me think like maybe part of the reason that it's not as popular in Taiwan is they're very violent sports. Mm-hmm. And I think the Taiwanese, as a general rule, they're just not a very violent people. They don't really want to embrace the human tendency towards violence. They like gentler sports.
And what advice would you give to Taiwanese who have a second thought or who are sitting on the fence on this, and what benefits are there if you're able to learn these sports?
Oh, give it a try. Couldn't hurt. I mean, could hurt. It does hurt sometimes. No, there's no reason not to give it a try. That you go in for a trial class doesn't mean that you're now obligated to go into competition and get knocked out. Mm-hmm. Give it a try. It's a great exercise. You might find that you really like it and you want to stick with it and you want to go to competition, but most people, it's just an exercise, and we just about all need more exercise.
There is this phrase, "What doesn't kill you make you stronger."
I don't know about that. I've had just about every part of my body get injured. I got all sorts of chronic injuries. They certainly don't make me stronger. No, but to the spirit of that quote, if I'm not being super pedantic about it, like doing difficult things makes you tougher. It builds character. It's good for you.
Let's go back memory lane. Why do you choose to come to Taiwan?
I came to Taiwan My intention was to probably spend a year or two here and then go travel somewhere else. So I imagined traveling the world. And then I got here, I liked it, never saw any reason to leave. So 17 years later, here I am.
What do you like about Taiwan that makes you stay for this long?
The number one thing I like about Taiwan is how safe it is. My wife can walk by herself down the street at 3 a.m. and she's not going to be worried about it. I have forgotten my keys in my scooter and only had it stolen once. I drop my wallet and 9 times out of 10 it gets returned to me with all the money in it. That is one of, if not the best thing about Taiwan, I think. It's absolutely not like that where I come from. It's absolutely not like that where my wife comes from. Or the Taiwanese are not a violent people. I really don't have to worry about disagreements turning violent. They get pretty nasty sometimes, but never violent. Almost never violent, excuse me. I can think of some exceptions. None of those were involving Taiwanese. But aside from that, there's usually always been something else tying me here. So it was, I really loved the gym I was training at the first year I was here, and then after that, I had the dogs. Dogs would be really, really difficult to move. Mm-hmm. And then now I have a family, and it would be really difficult to move my wife and my kids and my dogs with me if I went somewhere else. So, I do like Taiwan, but even if I decided this wasn't the greatest place anymore, I would need a pretty big reason to move elsewhere, and I'd have to be pretty confident it was going to be better. Because I've built a life here. Mm-hmm. You can't just up and leave that behind.
So what is the most difficult challenge that you've overcome or yet to overcome?
Keeping a teaching job. So anytime I'm talking about Taiwanese culture, Taiwanese people, of course, I'm making a generalization. I know someone in the comments is going, that's not everybody. Of course it's not everybody. You can't make a generalization about 23 million people that applies to everybody. Mm-hmm. But people are so non-confrontational that when there's a problem, they won't tell you. They won't tell you until they're so angry they can't hold it in. And not only that, when there is, it comes time to end a relationship, in this case an employment relationship, a lot of times they just lie. So, I've had a really hard time keeping a job as an English teacher, and no one ever really tells me why. They'll kind of make up some silly stuff that I know is not really the reason. No one's able to explain to me in a way that I can understand why that is.
Why that is.
But I've been teaching online for about 1.5 years now, and that's gone real well. Haven't gotten fired yet. Mm-hmm. My students seem to like me, and the employer seems to like me, so, I guess that problem is mostly overcome now.
And what's your most unpopular opinion about Taiwan?
Is that Taiwan is really friendly to foreigners. Yeah. Now, first of all, they say friendly to foreigners. What they really mean is foreigners from certain countries, the countries where the engineers and the English teachers are coming from. Southeast Asians get treated like garbage. And then on top of that, even someone like me, they're friendly so long as I stay within my lane. So if I am teaching English, or if I were an engineer, or I were a student, very friendly. The moment I try to do anything outside of that, the xenophobia starts to show up. As a martial artist, there are competitions I'm not welcome to as a foreigner. They'll say, oh, we want to promote Taiwanese MMA. Doesn't matter that almost 90+% of my martial arts training has been in Taiwan. On top of that, there have been competitions where they are not sponsored by the government. They are not explicitly, nation versus nation sort of events.
Okay.
And either A, it is no foreigners allowed, B, no foreigners allowed this time, or C, we're just going to pay the foreigners a lot less. Oh. And then when I do fight, they no one explicitly says this, but you notice I disproportionately get matched up against other foreigners. They don't want me fighting Taiwanese. I don't know what's up with that. Almost any disagreement I've ever got in with a Taiwanese, the matter of my nationality comes up, especially if it has nothing to do with nationality. I got an argument with my neighbor because she was letting her dog, like, get into my garbage and throw it all over the street. And she just immediately goes, 因为美国人是什么烂人? I go, what does my nationality have to do with this? I don't want you letting your dog get my garbage all over the street. Why are you invoking my nationality? My to-date only professional MMA fight, my opponent, Liao Xiang, you know, he puts up a trash-talking video, and you know, I get he's trying to push the fight, but the entire premises of his video, nothing about me personally, nothing about my fighting skills, nothing about the upcoming fight, just making fun of my Chinese ability. You know, okay, he's promoting a fight, and you know, at worst case scenario, it's one asshole. You can find assholes in any culture. But I don't remember one single person, one single Taiwanese in the comments or otherwise going, hey man, what are you doing? You're making us look like assholes. Where I come from, you'd really get called out for like putting out anything xenophobic or like making fun of somebody's language ability online. Like there'd be people have your back, but there'd be at least as many going like, dude, not cool. No, the part that really bothered me, nobody, not one person that I saw was like, man, that's not cool. That really hurt. That was really disappointing.
What's the future for this MMA fight in Taiwan?
So right now it's looking pretty bright. So I mean, from what I've heard, they're doing a lot of, they put together a Taiwanese MMA team, and they go abroad and they, you know, fight in national sanctioned competitions. So hopefully, my hope is that, you know, the Taiwanese, they see their countrymen going abroad, kicking ass, bringing back gold, and they go like, oh yeah, you know, I want to do that too. That looks cool.
Yeah.
So maybe as it becomes more popular, you know, the local scene will grow as well.
But do you have a website, a Facebook, Instagram, where if somebody wanted to contact you for you to train them or to join you for training, where can they find you?
You'd want to contact me through my Instagram or my Facebook, and then I'm sure the link will be in the description.
Yeah, sure.
You could go directly to Gancheng Chunguan here in Taichung.
Do you have anything else to tell Taiwanese people?
I know there's a lot of Taiwanese. They get upset that Trump has changed or will change the laws so that you can't go over to the U.S. to have your baby and have them automatically eligible for American citizenship. It's called birthright citizenship. And it turns out most Taiwanese don't know Taiwan does not have birthright citizenship either. Meaning my son, because my wife's Vietnamese, I'm American, my son right now has no nationality. He is not eligible for Taiwanese citizenship. So, doesn't seem very fair to me. You can go to the U.S. and have your baby there, and he's got American citizenship automatically through birthright citizenship. An American's child here is not automatically eligible. With how much the U.S. and Taiwan rely on each other, and specifically how much Taiwan relies on the U.S., I think it'd be nice if we got a little bit of reciprocation going on. But I can't vote. You guys can. It'd be nice to get Taiwanese citizenship without giving up my American citizenship as well. The way a Taiwanese can get American citizenship without giving up their Taiwanese citizenship. That'd be really nice. It'd certainly make me feel a little bit more welcomed and appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All his links will be in the description below. Let's go check him out.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Gansia ni sokan yo sihuan bu sihuan. Don't forget to click that subscription button, like the video, help us share if you can, and see you in our next video.